Yo, welcome back. It's NYCW time. It's episode 24. We're now up to 46th in the rankings, so look at us making big boy moves. We have almost 5.5k in the bank. I've tweaked the product a little bit because we've been meant to get 9 grand in sponsorship and we're just not getting anywhere near it. And I know that the economy side of things, if we look here, the economy and the wrestling industry has absolutely fallen through its fucking arse. So the problem we have with that is it's hard for us to get sponsorship money. So I've tweaked the product a little bit. All I've done is increase the Lucha Libre up to medium from none to make it quite favourable towards getting sponsorship. That doesn't mean all of our roster or all of our matches are just going to be dogger. It just means that there will be fast-paced wrestling, which we do have. Bit more technical, which we do have from people like Tracy Williams and Mark Haskins once he's back from injury, if we can afford to use him. And we do have colourful characters like Space Monkey, and we do have heavy kayfabe. So I feel like it makes sense, it's not like the identity of the company's changed, but if you look here, a lot of these guys do fit in with that. Like, look at Sugar Dunkerton and Orange Cassidy with the top characters. Now, anywho, let's jump straight into today's episode, where Matt Fitchett and Tracy Williams meet in the main event to determine who challenges for the heavyweight title next time out. We kick things off with the 43D, where Jacob Fatu defeats Sugar Dunkerton in 11:32 by pinfall with a moonsault, getting a 52 to Fatu, which is really good. Dunkerton only with a 21. Sucks because he's brilliant and I love him, but he's just shit in this mod. We then get 45, where in what was meant to happen before the match, Jacob Fatu claims that Sugar Dunkerton is a joke and Sugar disagrees. So basically we're going to pretend that it was meant to happen after the matchup, and what in fact happens is Jacob takes the mic, he says he wants his challenge. Sugar Dunkerton isn't a challenge, he's a joke. Look at him, everything about him is a joke. And Sugar Dunkerton, he pulls himself up to his feet. He claims that Fatu isn't the guy he thinks he is. He claims he's an unstoppable monster. Well, this so-called joke almost beat him, because he almost did beat him at one point in the match. And Fatu just boots him in the jaw, big sidekick, lays out Dunkerton, hits him with another moonsault, and then just storms off to the back, really. Jacob Fatu, not very happy there, but it got the crowd hotter, which is good, but it's also the height of summer right now in England. So we might have to turn the aircon on if they get any hotter. That's why you come here, the brilliant jokes. But yeah, we've also got 386 people in the crowd, which is lovely. We really are growing. We then have a 43D when a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Must have turned on the aircon. Space Monkey defeats Eli Everfly in 12:41 by pinfall with a reverse 450. Big boy Space Monkey wins on back-to-back shows. Oh, go on, fella. Eli gets a 35, Monkey with a 41, gets a crowd buzzing. Not really much to say, can't complain with that match. And Space Monkey, he's getting a couple wins. Maybe he's building up a streak of momentum before King of New York. We then have a 38D- when a match that let me down heavily. In a poor match, Josh Briggs defeats Mance Warner in 13:16 by pinfall with a Maroon 5. Mance Warner gets an 18. Oh, it's really good, man. But Josh Briggs gets a 46, and it's nice to see Briggs now really starting to pull up and get the ratings that I would have loved him to get when he was champion. If he is ever fortunate enough to get a second title reign, then boy, are we in for a treat. We then follow that up with the 73B-. Josh Briggs picks up a microphone. He claims that if Jacob Fatu wants a challenge, if he wants a fight, Josh Briggs is waiting right here. He isn't scared. He's going to back down. He doesn't like Jacob Fatu walking into his yard and claiming that he's the biggest dog here, that he's the best, that he's the most dominant guy. Fatu's been here like 2 minutes. He's beat like 3 guys. Josh Briggs has beaten more guys than Jacob Fatu's had matches here. Jacob Fatu walks out. He stares Josh Briggs in the eyes and he goes, "You think you're a challenge? You think you're the guy I want to fight? I don't need to fight you. And I certainly don't want to fight you. Who I want to fight is Chris Dickinson. who I want to fight is the heavyweight champion. I'm better than you, Josh. And Fatu just walks off. Briggs looks fuming. He calls him out, he calls him a little bitch. Fatu just laughs and walks away, and maybe Josh Briggs isn't the star attraction here anymore, you know? He's been on a little... He's had a few defeats since last fall, losing to Chris Dickinson. He's lost to Shane Strickland a couple of times. Maybe Josh Briggs just isn't the dominant force that he used to be. We then have a 45D when a decent match. Andrew Everett defeats Brent Money Banks in 14-21 by pinfall with 450 press. 2 matches for Brent Banks. He's been really off his game both times. So cheers, Brent. Big up, fella. If you want to stay around here, you're definitely going about it the wrong way. But Everett gets a 47, which is quite solid. And he gets a victory going into King of New York in just a couple months' time. If Everett wins again before then he's on at least a 3-match win streak. And that puts him in quite good contendership for that. You know, he could be a dark horse. We then have a 64C, Jesus. When about that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Reborn Matt Seidel defeats Dogger in 15:07 by pinfall to Shooting Star Press. Dogger loses 2 in a row now. Seidel with a solid victory there. A victory kind of needed. And again, King of New York, if Seidel's there, again, another top contender for that. Big win there for Matt Seidel. We then have a 60C when our main event and about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams defeats Matt Fitchett in 18:23 with a pile driver to earn a shot at Chris Dickinson's heavyweight championship at 26. Fitchett with the 59, Williams with the 48. Big performance from Matt Fitchett. Someone who could easily be a top star here if he gets given the right chance, if the time is right, because it's like WWE. I want to make Matt Fitchett a star, right? But it's not always that simple, because I've got guys like Josh Briggs who I'm trying to build around, guys like Jacob Fatu, we've got our local guys other than Briggs like Williams and Dickinson who are based in the area. So I can't always, like, there's so many guys, like, our roster is full of good people, so not everyone can be champion right now, but give it a year or two and Fitchett could definitely be up there. So hopefully, if he keeps performing well, I think he's got a shot at gold in the future. Sammy Collins went to a company. We've drew 386 fans there, which is quite good as well. Financially, we've lost $475 this month. So as you can see, we are cutting down a little bit on worker fees. Sponsorship wise, we've got a week left, so it'll be interesting to see how we do, like, how much more we can make, basically. So, of course, one thing I do need to do here is change that to Dickinson versus Williams. And there we have it. Our main event for the next show, Chris Dickinson, Tracy Williams. The New York City Wrestling Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. And if we look here, Tracy Williams has defeated Chris Dickinson once last May. Dickinson beat Tracy in the main event of our first ever show. He's then beaten twice more since in singles action. It seems like Chris Dickinson has Tracy's number. This is the chance for Tracy Williams to prove himself, that he is a top guy in NYCW. Because if you look at Tracy Williams, where we're going here, it'll be nobody, won't it? How the fuck do I work that out? Right, basically, if we look at Tracy Williams here, he gets a lot of victories. But if you look at his losses, he lost to Dogger, he lost to Dickinson, he lost to Briggs, he lost to Fitchett, he lost to Grace when we were really building up Jordan Grace. When it comes to singles action, he only loses to the top guys. He can beat everyone but the tippy top guys. Can he finally change that and get that big victory? Find out in the next episode. Do you think he'll get that victory? Let me know down below, and I'll see you very shortly for 20